in Seattle today visiting with Seahawks officials. We'll take a physical there. They're compiling a dossier of notes here. Also have Austin Davis in there, another quarterback. And I think that they just want to do some legwork on some of these quarterbacks to have some notes ready. I'm told it's a standard free agent visit. Nothing imminent. No signings going to take place today. But notable because Colin Kaepernick had not taken any visits up until now this offseason. So this becomes the first one. It's with a team he knows. It's with a team that knows him well. And they'll get further acquainted to see if something is warranted at some point later on.
Russell Wilson didn't miss a snap last year, but we know he was banged up for much of it. How important is fit?
The fit is it's everything, because everybody knows that he can rip it and he can really fly. And then the next part of the connection is the support for a guy like Russ and for the team, and that connection that everybody has. So they've competed against him. The guy's a great competitor and brings it in every way. So they'll have to see if it's a good fit for everyone involved, and Colin included.
Yeah, I mean, as I look at it, it fits because it's a similar system, but he can rip it, but that's all he does is rip it. I mean, it's 100 miles an hour, whether it's a 30-yard route or a 5-yard route. So in my opinion, does he fit? The only reason he would fit is because of the similar playing style he could have. You don't have to change your offense when you bring him in with what Russell Wilson does. If he misses 3 or 4 snaps or 5 snaps, okay, he comes in, you run the zone read with him, he can beat you with the legs. But if he's a guy you're dependent on to beat you with his arm, I'm hard-pressed to think that's the guy that's going to do it.
There are so many divergent opinions about what Colin Kaepernick can and can't do, what kind of guy he would and wouldn't be. And I think, frankly, and Dan would know this very well, Pete Carroll wants to see for himself what Colin Kaepernick is about. He wants to hear some of these answers. He wants to hear where his head is at right now so that if and when they decide to make a move at some point, they would be familiar with it.
This is a strong locker room,
Yes.
and a lot of the guys in the Seahawks locker room connected with Colin during last year. It's a strong locker room.
It is,
That's
and one of the
very
things
important.
that their team celebrates is everyone's uniqueness, and they would really have respect, for him, not just as a ball player, but as a man too.
And again, the deal is not done. Nothing imminent.
Right.
Right.
No deal in the works right now. So, again, maybe something comes out of it, maybe something doesn't. But, again, the fact that it's his first visit, I think, is notable.
One thing I want to say about from Coach, a guy who everybody already respects for what he's doing off the field does make a difference, right? The comfort level that you have when you walk in a locker room, especially when you're talking about the quarterback room or, a quarterback position, right? Everybody wants to get along, especially the backup quarterback. He's kind of the fun and jolly guy. For lack of a better term, he's a guy that keeps Russell Wilson loose. He's going to be loose with the guys. He has to have that type of mentality. And if guys already respect him for the stance that he made and that kind of thing that he's done, that is a good thing. I mean, from Pete Carroll's perspective or from the organization, when you walk in, there is something to say for that. That does bode well for wanting to keep a guy like that because, again, you're not depending on him to win you football games. You're sure hoping Russell Wilson's your guy, staying healthy, all those kinds of things. But a guy who keeps it loose and gets along with everybody, especially at that backup quarterback position, that does bode well for what Colin Kaepernick can do for them.
Few people would know better about fit and continuity than you, having played as a center. But again, it all goes back to the talent level and what he can bring to the team from a talent perspective. You faced him a number of times. Your defenses, when you were in Seattle, beat him. You beat him last year as well. What did you see from him on the field?
Well, and that's what for John and Pete, they'll have the tape, and that's always what you go to first, to look at the player. But the arm strength and the speed, he can break, contain, and he's just as dangerous running. And I think the relentless competitor part, he brings it. And those are the attributes that you look for first in a quarterback, and he certainly has those.
And I think this is all part of a process. Last week it came out that they were interested. Seahawks were very open about it, very transparent, said, yeah, we're investigating Colin Kaepernick. We might have some interest. And I think the reaction from the Seahawks players at that point, to your point, is that it's very unique, very strong locker room. And I think there was mostly positive, favorable reaction to the fact that they were interested in Colin Kaepernick at that time. And I think this